need known shit because they deciphered it, right, or gave somewhat of an explanation. They're all in your business. That's not true at all. So again, you know what I mean. I definitely, just to start out, I, I I definitely am opposed to anybody who says that, number one, academics is profiting off, like, just the private business of people. I do what every media platform does, which is basically information that is public, right? And I have all the resources, and for certain stuff, which, you know, I, I could use, like, if I really want to do investigative shit, I could. But in reality, I've never ever really, when especially it came to the situations y'all talking about, I've never ever broke no news that wasn't already regurgitated, already known. You know what I mean? Most of the times, if y'all look at when I'm posting some shit, where am I getting it from?
Can I
It's
ask you
on.
a
It's
question?
already on the news website.
Can I ask you a question?
Go
All right.
ahead.
So you said that Dirk rap about real shit that's going on to incite clicks and like a clickbait, basically, right? To run numbers up. Is that right?
He's exploiting it. Yes.
Okay. Um, but none of us are involved. So can we actually validate if what he's saying is real or not?
You see, this is where the conversation goes left
No,
because
no. This is what
I
I'm
feel like we play
asking. Like, how
stupid now.
can we validate that?
But again, that's why I said the conversation goes into a real place of, like, it becomes nonsense because are we gonna play stupid? Like, come on now. Like, when you first of all, if the casual fan 3,000 miles away, right? Sometimes you be having all the white fans who have never probably been to a hood, and they know who beefing with who dissing who, they know what they're referring to on lyrics. If that fan knows, we could sit here and be like, oh, we don't know what they're talking. Come on now. Is that? Tell me if that's the direction we're gonna go with this conversation, because I'm already know. Where we're going.
No, all right.
Hold on, hold
All right, academic. So let's say the casual fan that
But
listens to
but
the music.
but if we
hold
gotta
on, Ace,
control
hold
the
on, Ace. Let
conversation based
Dre.
on what makes academic comfortable for him to stay, then it's not a real
Nah, we
No, no,
conversation,
no,
bro.
Dre,
no,
Dre,
hold on,
It's
Dre.
hold on.
not.
He
No, no, no,
not gonna.
no,
If we gon'
no.
I'm
He got to be
never
fair. He
gonna
got to
be
be
hold
fair.
on, facts.
No,
Listen,
no,
I'm
don't
never
cater to
gonna
me.
be disrespectful. But if we gonna have a real conversation, let's have it. If we not directly involved, we can't validate what's real or not
All
based
right,
on
so
somebody else's lyrics. We can't do that. So for us to say like we literally protesting that it's real and valid and we not involved, that's foul.
All right, hold on. All right, so
Now
let
my
me ask you a direct question. That's what I was talking about, accountability. All right, so Dirk dropped the song "Should Have Ducked." They arrested a bunch of niggas who used to be around him or were around him yesterday for that nigga's murder. Do you think that the media now is saying, well, 2 + 2 is 4? Do you think that oh, nobody knew about that shit? You tell me. We having a real conversation, right?
I hear
So
you.
if
I'm
if a
sorry. What did
media
you say? I'm
outlet, if a
sorry.
media outlet now connects and be like, well, blah blah blah. You're saying that we don't know, like, because we ain't really blah blah. We don't know who's talking about what. I'm saying there's times you clearly see, like, for example, yesterday, you get to see, at least based on the fucking indictment that came down from the feds, right? Not all them lyrics was just coincidence. It probably was something to it. There was probably an issue there. So now when the media then either brings it up, is the media inciting, or they're actually just reporting and actually going off what seems to be factual?
So you said probably issues there. Probably is in fact.
Oh my.
So the media has a responsibility to report facts. Now a blogger can just report their opinion, but if you're gonna accept the responsibility of representing this media, then you should also want to make sure that what you drop is facts. Because I don't really understand why Dirk was even ever mentioned in the video that you posted regarding people being indicted by the feds with Oblock, because he wasn't in the paperwork and he didn't get arrested. And mentioning him
all
does
right, Juju,
correlate him with that situation.
All right.
Juju, let him answer.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, right? So, you got to add context. Like, first of all, you know, the regular casual rap fan, and I've seen his, even his stature going up in the last couple months. He signed a deal with Empire. Muwap. Muwap is someone who was around, at least from what I know, he was around. He got a deal because of King Von. King Von obviously was an artist that Dirk helped put on. Then we have, again, you're making him, the way you're acting with this blissful ignorance is almost making it seem like I'm some like yo, like I'm doing like some crazy math, but it's not speculation that the last couple on tour, Moonwap was there. Like so, again, when I'm trying to explain to an audience, nobody said Dirk did anything, but if you think just like if somebody hangs around, you might not have to have like an official title, but if you hang around or you're rolling around with a particular artist, when the media reports that I don't know, you get into whatever, they might be like, oh, this is an affiliate of blah blah. Haven't we seen that many times? Is that incorrect to say? Is that like now getting into people's business, or is that just factual reporting? So someone who clearly and by the way, go look on YouTube. There's hundreds of videos. Go look at Dirk's like all Dirk's performances from the last like year. You're gonna see a lot on stage. Moonwap is there with them. That's the dude who got indicted for another artist in Chicago's death. Nobody mentioned to say Dirk did nothing, right? But who is the guy Muwa? It's just simply association. Because truth be told, maybe more people know FBG Duck than the individual Muwa. But again, it's just saying, yo, he rolled with Dirk in him. Like, I don't think that's like, really, oh, you're speculating. Why did you have to bring his? It would be different if I was like, oh, if I was either sending clear hints, making assumptions like, oh, Dirk is my no. These are people who just been associated with Dirk. That's how the general public, at least in the hip hop media atmosphere, would know who Muwap is. Muwap does not have.
Understandable, but academic, you went further than just creating an association. You also was sure to include that Dirk lyrics was reflective of what's actually happening in Oblock right now, even though Dirk didn't get arrested. Like, so I'm not understanding why what they going through is reflective of what Dirk rapping about. They disassociated, but it's like you tying them in together. That's going a step further than just yeah they hang out. It's going further than that.
Now, I don't think I'm tying them into anything when I just point out the simple fact, which I like. Again, I am all the way down with just sitting here and doing the blissful
Yeah.
ignorance stuff. Act
Can
like
I ask a
when
question?
Dirk been hold on.
Nah, hold on, hold on, hold on.
If Dirk been dissing uh, Dirk been dissing Duck for a minute. Like if that is like, oh my god, I cracked some code. Well, god damn it, I must be the best. I must be the best internet detective ever. You know what I
All
mean?
right, all right. We
And by
gonna
the
get
way, hold on, wait. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you
Um,
good.
the reason why I also brought that up because when it's also to give context, right? Because really, and I don't know if I necessarily like spelled it out in in that particular video, but it was really to say that when it comes to accountability, when academics is in this room, y'all be like, yo, act, you're inciting this, you're doing this. Nobody ever blamed the people who allegedly pull the trigger. I've never heard somebody say, yo, if he did that shit, man, I can't rock with him no more. I can't. I never heard that ever. Okay, but beyond that, it's like when you listen to, and I don't know if y'all take time, like, because as you said, I should be doing my homework and I'm in the media. I do. So when number one, I got to read, I'm going to make an effort to read every page of every indictment, listen to what the FBI said, how they solved this, whatever. And you know what they said? We literally we got the information from this music. They just
All right, we got 150 people in here. Hit the like button. I don't want to keep.
guys who are involved with this are telling us who they don't like, who they're gonna do a revenge act of violence against. They're literally spelling it out for us. And you know what we do? We go to Chicago drill music. I didn't say that. The guy sit up on a podium with an FBI big logo while he's over here basking in his like, success, I guess, in him making an arrest. And he's saying it that, listen, he's getting it from the music. So again, you might say, oh, I don't know what he's talking about. The FBI clearly does. They literally said it. We got it from the music. So again, when that context is covered, that yes, like I'm not breaking down nothing that ain't publicly available. These ain't songs I'm leaking. There's songs that even in the title, it basically is playing around or poking fun at other people. I
So
mean,
can I ask a question?
Wait.
Wait,
Before you go, right? And I wanted to ask this earlier. So, all right, I understand you're reporting on things that you say or may not be public knowledge, right? I'm just leaving it in the air, right? So, when you do report these things and you do kind of connect things, you don't feel like that may be helping the outsiders a little bit more when you do connect certain things or put things with other things?
Let K do.
Yo, nah.
I'll give a quick answer to that because I know I could get long winded. No, I really don't think the level of me breaking down or analyzing or even reporting is ever bringing no new information to light. Like I'm telling you, like and I don't want to put this other individual, in the crossfire, nothing like that. Like, man, as much flack as people have like given me for one of the first time I came on Clubhouse, they basically like attributed the entire crime rate to me. Yo, Ack, you did this. You gave niggas nicknames. You incite everything. You got these little kids feeling they got to kill niggas to get on your page. And the funny part about it was like, honestly, like I'm still learning this year who's really still into it or who's into it with who. Like I don't really, I never claimed to be an expert on this. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm finding stuff out. Like there's other channels that are on YouTube that they got this shit down to a science. You get me? Like, again, I've never went that far. I've only covered, okay, all right, somebody passed away, the police made an arrest. Okay, let's just talk about what the police have, and I'm gonna give some context to it. But it's never like, okay, cool, and obviously sometimes I might be like, well, like for example, it could be whatever. I'm like, well, and I'm just use this particular situation. I'm like, well, which is, by the way, it's completely on 4K surveillance camera, like the whole little Tim King Bond thing. The nature of my breakdown when it comes to that is not providing nothing new. Is more of saying, okay, let's have a discussion. Or even when I'm doing a video, I'm kind of having a discussion with myself. I'm like, well, I think this guy might try to go for self defense. That's self-explanatory. Like, come on now. Like, I'm not breaking no fucking news.
Can I
Like,
speak?
again,
Yo, hold on. I need to speak. Yo, Ack, you finish that?
yeah, no, I'm done.
I look. I wanted to say something, right? So I want Oreo to speak, but I want to say something. So before you came in the room, this is me, right? I was told, like, um, as a public figure, as a media outlet, as a personality, because of your following, and this is not just to you. This is in general. You can't have an opinion on artists' music because of Jim Jones, because of your statement with Jim Jones and Mano having an album. It was said that you can't have a public opinion on music because you have a following.
Ah,
Like, how
Fast,
do
you
you
so
No,
have?
wait,
Wait,
facts.
controversial.
That's not what was said. What
hold
was said
on.
is how he delivered it. That's not.
Yo, let me speak, please. How do you feel about that?
I mean, are you saying because we have a platform or because I'm in the media I can't have? Nah, I don't obviously that's BS. You know what I mean? Again, I just go back to what I said about, by the way, these artists I'm mentioning, I'm not mentioning them because I don't like them. I enjoy their music very thoroughly, whether I come from those backgrounds or not. I'm like, there is, and it's a double-edged sword. And that's why, like, when I ever came to Clubhouse to have real conversation, it's about the hypocrisy we all share. Because truth be told, if somebody's for the persons who are saying, "Well, we don't know what's going on," if a nigga's talking that fake shit, you don't want to hear it. Just like most of y'all, right? I don't know, maybe in this room or not. Y'all wouldn't want to hear 6ix9ine talk about no gangster shit no more because you're gonna say he's a rat, right? Now, the thing is authenticity. It matters, right? And when you look at some of these artists, like they know it matters, and that's why sometimes I think they take the risk by putting. How many artists got beef that they're not rapping about? Like I talk to a lot of artists who don't put their actual beefs in music. They don't do it, but some do. Now, when you do that, you're bringing extra visibility of tens of millions of fans, which by the way is probably going to turn to streams. So yes, you are getting some kickback, some money this and third. You're getting hot, but it's going to get a lot of attention from feds. It's you can't have it both ways. So it's one of those things where, like, when you share that information, Now people are gonna want to know more.
Yo,
I
do
see
you? Hey,
a lot of these documentary pages popping up on YouTube. You know why niggas is going to Google? Like it has like almost like 10 million views. There's a few documentaries I've seen a bunch of people
hey,
do.
hey,
I've kind of
facts.
watched a couple of them on Jacksonville beefs among rappers. Before Young and Ace dropped Who Got Smoke, I never even knew that was going on. But he put it out in music. He put it out dissing actual deceased people, and another nigga who's in his city responded. Now you have the whole world who, okay, the song might be cool or whatever, but they're not gonna just stop as someone was saying, well, we don't know what's going on. Maybe it's true, maybe no. They now want to know more about it. So now they go on YouTube. They're again, it's fans. It all feeds the same cycle of why people fuck with certain artists. You're usually gonna hear, especially when it comes to like certain type of music, people gonna be like, yo, I fuck with that artist because yo, he real. I feel like he's actually whatever he says, he's actually living. You know what I mean? So again, it's unreasonable to say people could consume it. You could exploit those things going on around you, but nobody can have an opinion on it. And then everybody has to watch out to make sure, hey, you don't get in trouble for what you have chose to put out on a record. Which, by the way, we're not talking about, and even when, going back to like whenever I did come in and I took a lot of accountability for like the war in Chiraq. Definitely certain aspects, definitely the way I went about it. But you know, um, that's a very different time than now. We're talking about niggas who are signed to labels worth billions of dollars with with record with album budgets of millions of dollars, going into studios, flying private jets, and they're talking about beats. This isn't like some kid who he ain't know, like he just got into some shit with some nigga across town and he don't know how to express himself, so he made some song and it kind of blew up, and then now everybody's using that to kind of be like, well, what you gonna do? Like these are people who they know they gotta heat shit up, they gotta get people talking, and they're saying, what am I gonna do in terms of music to get people talking? I'm gonna go diss the niggas in my city who people know I've been beefing with. And again, to the young lady who said we don't know who beefing with who, trust me, maybe you don't know, but I guarantee I could pick a white kid with a bowl cut out of Montana, and I could ask him name 5 ops of so and so rapper, and they'll name it no problem.
Hey, facts. Check your back.
So
Hey,
was that
I
so?
want.
So academics, was that the motivation behind you mentioning Dirk in the video? Was you trying to get shared responsibility because you feel like everybody look at you and not him? Because he not the only rapper that made diss songs about Duck, but he was the only one that you mentioned.
Well,
All right,
it was because of it was clear association. Like like he's been on his Instagram. He was at most of his shows. He's been rolling around with him. And again, that's not no secret. You know what I mean? Because people see it like shit. I'll be on Muad page. I always be seeing posted like I be on YouTube watching Dirk's performances. Like and I always be looking like because Muad be in the back turned every time Von songs come on or Von tribute songs. I'm Dirk's performance. So like a lot of people knew. But you're right. It's not just Dirk. I love Dirk. Like by the way, me and Dirk, even personally, we've always had a really good relationship. I guess I say it because like a lot of times when it comes to these discussions, we really don't factor in everything, even when it comes to artists. You know what I mean? Again, these artists are far removed from like 2012, where it was just chaotic and trying to make it. These are established veterans in the game with huge budgets who are going into studios and they're willfully and cognitively making those decisions to say, I'm about to make music that is going to be promoted by a billion-dollar company to promote more genocide. You get me?
all right. Act, let
Like
me.
and because of that, I like a day like yesterday, I'm not happy, but it is, we have to hold the mirror up sometimes. We got to hold
All
the
right,
mirror up, because if we're going to have a conversation, I'm always down for the conversation. Let's have the real conversation. So if the real, what the real conversation probably is, act well. When you did a war in Chiraq, the way you approached it here, blah blah blah. Look at who you were. Okay, cool. There's accountability to be held that way. I try to, of course, um change shit. I stopped. I haven't done the war in Chiraq, I believe 4 or 5, probably 6 years. You know, And and I've given, critiques to myself on how I could have either done that better or not be as dismissive and maybe as, whatever effects you might think it has, which I just personally just don't think it's murder. But I'm not gonna say there was no effects. Um, I could critique myself. The problem starts where everybody says, "Great, we got the scapegoat." End of discussion. Like, and I hate that I'm using Dirk as like one of the examples because like I really fuck with him and I fuck with his music. But again, you gotta think about time and think about things like this, right? Like a couple months ago, Dirk literally said, "Yo, I'm gonna stop dissing." By the way, this was after FBG's mom, who's been mourning for however long for her son, she's saying it. Yo, could you stop? Like, you're rich. Could you stop dissing my dead son, please? Please, could you stop? Dirk at one point, and really, this came off. I got to be honest, it felt like it came off internet pressure a bit of people saying, yo, come on now, this is bad energy. This is bad energy. Also, we saw his brother pass away. People kept saying it's bad energy. He tweeted out, he said, I'm going to stop after a certain point. But we also got to keep it honest about the music we're still seeing coming out. The song that dropped today is still talking about spinning and sliding and still making loose references. Now, again, for the person who thinks I'm just pointing everything out, we'll just act like it's just random stuff. But the energy is still there in the music. It's not like it was a verbal promise, but I think Dirk understands that a lot of like Dirk is to me is the hottest rapper. I've tweeted out. I said I think Dirk gonna sell 150 first week. When it, there's a type of organic litness you get. Like Baby had it right before he dropped My Turn, where like everybody's fucking with you. You're not too mainstream enough, but like everybody, whether it be just like regular casual fans, street rap fans, everybody fucks with you. Dirk is there right now. And if you ask me, truth be told, I think he knows they gravitate towards tracks like Hellcats and Trackhawks, multiple songs he got with Vom, Back Again, all these niggas should have ducked. You know what I mean? He knows that. Listen, it's a reason why when he previewing music and talking about like when he's previewing music and this is the only reason why I even mentioned I mentioned on the video. I was like, um, oh yeah, well I guess it was sliding, right? And it was obviously a facetious tongue in cheek comment. But Dirk Dirk acknowledges that the internet been trolling him about that. He dropped the verse literally saying it. He literally dropped the verse saying it. You get me? So like the artists as well, they're so in tune and they're doing this cognizantly. I gotta call BS if you really just think they could wrap it up into just artistic expression at this point for these current artists, and they could just be like, well, I'm just talking the talk, and it's the media and the other people who are looking too much into it causing the problems. Because
Yo,
again, like FBG Duck mom hit me every 4 hours. Hey, listen, I hit you way back then. My son murders finally got caught. Yo, you've given this dude a platform to diss my son all these years. Why won't you give me a platform that I could speak at? Yeah. So again, it's one of those things where this is accountability I just want everybody to have when y'all have the same energy for me. Let's talk about those situations. Because again, you don't gotta talk about academics. You're right, academics ain't got nothing to do with that. But now you have the mom of a deceased rapper who want to talk about that. Are y'all gonna have those conversations, or are you gonna sweep it under the rug because you know what I mean? It might not favor who you might like. Again, we're not having real, honest discussions. So
Academics.
wait, hold on. I
You
have
keep
people
telling
that
me
need
to
to
hold
speak.
on, and I've been waiting. I just want to
Yo,
ask him one question.
oh my, a tons. Go
go
ahead,
ahead, go
ask
ahead.
your question.
Thank you. Academics, do you believe in the power of influence?
Yes,
Okay, and do you know that you have a platform where there's multiple people all over the world like watching you and listening to what you have to say?
yes,
Okay, so even though you may call yourself, I'm not sure if you call yourself like a radio personality or a blogger, but the influence that you have and what you post
is going to attract other influences to whatever you're attracting. So it's not that I disagree with your hustle. It's just that, like, just me personally, like me as a human being and me as someone who stands for like my black community in general. And I hate to do this to you, but in general, like the black community, I care about them. And like the stuff that you're promoting, if it's not really promoting peace and you're engaging or instigating the violence, I can't respect it. And I feel like that's what you did.
Do you respect what um Lil Durk, Lil Reese, other rappers? I'm gonna keep it in Chicago. Do you respect what they do?
No, I don't respect anybody that goes against the black community or who contributes to like the violence. I don't. And I feel like you as a person, like I know that you don't want to, like, it's not your full responsibility to accept the fact that, okay, I could have influenced it, but at the end of the day, it's not totally up to you, but it's like you did in some way, shape, or form influence that. Like like you influence more viewers to see the violence that was
All right,
like
but
going on in that community,
All
and I don't
right,
respect that.
you're down to say on this platform that you don't respect no rapper who talks about selling drugs or promoting violence, because a lot of them do. Street rap is big right
I
now.
I, I
And
don't
you don't respect not one
personally.
of them.
I don't personally know.
all right.
Who's your favorite rappers right now?
I don't have a
If you
favorite
don't mind
rapper
me.
right now. Sorry.
Okay, so you're not really into rap like that. Okay, all right. For me, as long as you keep that same energy, I think that's a very constructive like criticism. That, as for me, it's never really accountability. Like, again, I keep telling y'all that I'm always down for that, as long as it's issued fairly across the board. Like, if that conversation, I would escalate to say, all right, cool, well, I'm glad you're not being a hypocrite, because if you said, well, my favorite rapper is Pooh Shiesty, but I don't like when you, as the media, talk about or put these type of issues on the screen in a media context, I'd be like, you're a hypocrite, but you're saying you don't like it all. So
Who's
at
your
that point,
favorite
I think,
rapper?
Wait, nah, hold on. I need to control my stage. I need to. I have people that need to speak. I'm sorry.
What's the queue
I
on
get you.
these comments and questions?
Wait,
Because I like to say something else.
all right, hold on. I really want to base this on Chicago. I know everybody got opinions, but I genuinely just want Chicago. Yo, Ty, go ahead, Ty.
So, I have a question. Do you
Y'all tap that like button, man. Y'all bluffing. Hey, Paris, tell them tap the like button. They bluffing.
feel as though if you were today to stop talking or mentioning these type of acts or things that you talk about, would your platform suffer?
no. Yeah, by the way, brilliant question. I really like that question. And actually, I like I like the young lady who was speaking before, because even I like the fact that she's just not being a
Thank
hypocrite. And
you,
it
but clearly I got cut off because he
no, no,
needed to
hold on,
go
no,
on
no. But
stage. But go ahead.
part of my answer to the gentleman that just asked, I think will answer your question as well, as, or I think where you were bringing it to. So, like I was gonna say to you, the next conversation would be like, should like outlets like me and maybe other influential ones think about stop covering artists who promote violence? Like, if you're a street rapper promoting selling drugs, killing people, misogyny, all type of things that we feel is detrimental to the black community, I would be all for to say, hey, listen, let's get all the media heads or the people who own these media entities, and let's actually do it. But I'm pretty sure if we did that, then there's another flip side of the coin. People are gonna say, well, you hating on people coming from the hood telling their stories. It's a very fine line. So, to then get into the question of what the young man was saying, um, I would say no. There was a time I would think it was kind of really predicated to that. Now, I'm not gonna be like
This nigga
I would
lying.
hope I'm not a hypocrite on any type of way, but I wouldn't say that, like, first of all, controversy does help any platform grow. I'm gonna always admit that, but I don't necessarily think covering rappers covering street shit has made my platform what it is, truth be told. So of course, and let me just give a brief, history lesson. Okay, I won't even get into the chicken and the egg thing. Some people think, Chiraq made you, and I would like to think, because that was my third biggest page even at its height, but cool. If you know, if people want to say, well, that's what people know you from, cool. Now, the important timeline when people discuss academics and wonder how have I survived as a media personality and also a platform for 10 years is that the Chicago wave around 2014, 2015 started to fizzle out. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I covered the Drake beef 2015, Drake Meek Mill beef 2015, but right after then, pretty much up until maybe you could say like some 6ix9ine shit. Pause. Um, Literally, my platform was about promoting these non-violent, for the most part, rappers who were basically running this SoundCloud era. Like, I know some people would like to attribute like, oh, Chicago made you, but I really think the artists who came out of the SoundCloud era really was instrumental for me to get to the point that I'm at, because these were the guys who ended up being the superstars later. When I started covering Uzi and Yachty, like they would never even be talked about on the radio. These guys, like, they're superstars now. When I was covering the Kodak, covering like some of these artists who were just SoundCloud rappers. So I've always thought that, hey, your platform's growth doesn't necessarily have to be predicated on covering violence or street shit. Where I think I have my flag in this whole media landscape shit, if we're thinking about it as some type of new moon for like new platforms, is covering the new rappers and a lot, and whether the new rapper is a Juice World. Like, you think my platform wouldn't go up covering Juice WRLD and Uzi, who they're not rapping about violence. They're not like telling people, yo, I'm smoking on your dead ops, this and third. My platform was going up just as well with them. So I wouldn't say that my platform would be hurt at this point, but I can't rewrite history as well. And if people say, yo, well, the war in Chiraq was part of your history in terms of your platform being it where it is, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, you're lying.
Hey
But
yo, Act.
Yo, hold on,
No, hold on,
Oreo.
facts. Hold on, facts. I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna let him continue. You have 3 or 4 different platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. So each one of them kind of have their own following. So you can't say one platform because I seen you on Twitch, I seen you on YouTube, I seen you on Instagram, and I seen you on Twitter. But
Listen, let me just say something real quick. I want to get to everybody that's from Chicago, and I just need to control the stage. So I'm not trying to be rude to you, but I really want the Chicago people to speak. Mikey, go ahead, Mikey. Oreo, I know you from Chicago, Oreo, but I just wanted to let the people know
Hold,
that want to
hold on,
speak.
facts. Let me do something real quick. Let me see. All right, so everybody that's here, I got you, bro. I got you. Everybody that's here on stage, just flash your mic real quick. If you're not here, you're gonna be moved down, so I can keep more control. Just flash your mic. Flash your mic when you see it. Flash your mic. Flash your mic. All
Wait,
right, cool. I
Ace,
see what's
don't
going
move
on.
slow.
Nah, I know who's gang too, but just flash your mic if you're
Yo,
here.
One thing I
Mikey, go
noticed,
ahead,
hey,
Mikey.
facts, my bad,
Now you
not
good,
keep
Meezy. You
going,
good,
but
Meezy. I know
one
you.
thing I
I know you.
noticed is, man, y'all
Yo,
always have the
All right, you
same
can
dick
stop
riding
flashing.
ass people on the big stages who don't be talking about shit.
yeah,
Get
that's
their
why
ass
I'm
out, man.
removing
Niggas ain't
everybody
talking
right
about shit.
That's
now.
Meezy. That's what I'm.
Cody, you're a goddamn lie. Fendi boy weak.
Oh, my bad. I ain't got a call. My bad. Um, understand, your platform and all that. But one thing I think you still don't understand is, like, do you understand, like, when Chicago people have a gripe with you, or, like, do you understand why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you see anything wrong you did and when you was covering the shit? Like, you built your popularity basically off, the violence of Chicago. You know what I mean? Especially in a time where it was, all of them was building their buzz. Like, yeah, they had their little buzzes and shit like that, but you know, you was I don't think you understand in that shit. They looked at your platform as a way of clout in the streets. I don't think you understand that though. I don't know if anybody ever broke it down to you or you even realized that, people were looking at your shit as a way like, oh, this nigga got this many, oh, okay. Oh, he claiming it is. You it's almost like you unknowingly provoking shit, but without knowing it. You know what I'm saying? And I just really want you to understand that. because you always was saying like they played the shit yesterday where you said you was gonna be on here all day yesterday. You wanted to talk to some Chicago people. I'm a very notable Chicago person. I'm here to talk to you. So I'm asking you a question. Is that, do you understand like what you did or why certain Chicago people feel a certain way about you? I just really want to know, do you understand that?
And I feel like I've answered that question a bunch of times on this platform. So I understand. First of all, even what you said, I could agree with it partially, but then I got to cut it and stop it at a point, because when you say like what you did and like you're basically attributing and saying my platform was really the source or the main reason behind, like
It
almost
was. It was one of the your platform
Hold on,
was
let
one
him
of the
talk.
main
Let him
sources.
talk. Let him talk. Please let him talk, Oreo. He ain't cut you off.
No,
Please
that's
let him
me.
talk
That's
on
me.
me.
Facts. That's Mike.
Mikey, please let him talk. He ain't cut you off. Please just let.
yeah, no, what I'm like, I disagree that it, again, inciting. Okay, but by the way, any news media that covers something. By the way, again, the main parts of Chicago that the coverage of the war in Chiraq that I actually I take accountability for is especially covering things that sometimes these guys on a music level wouldn't get my attention. You get me? And maybe because of their of them making songs or whatever issues they might have with, like, say, a rapper like Chief Keef or maybe even a Dirk. They did, and obviously there's a trickle down effect that could happen from that. 100%. Second of all, it's been explained to me, and I do understand that. Like even the nickname thing, right? Of course, I wasn't looking at it from that angle. However, I could imagine, like, the more shit this I even found more, like, in the last couple years. I'm like, again, I don't ever think that my content made a nigga pick up a gun or shot at somebody, but I could
Mhm.
see how people were that consumed that content from the city was like,
Right.
yo, he's calling that nigga blah blah. No, nigga, like, yo, that nigga, you know what I mean? Again, also, I was very uninformed, so
No, that's why I say you was doing it unknowingly, not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I wanted you to see if you understood in some type of way why Chicago people feel a certain way towards you, and that they say the things that they say, but you help contribute to the violence. I just want you to understand why they say that. That's the only thing. You know what I mean? We ain't saying like, oh, you 100% behind it. You picked up a gun. You did this. You was sliding. No, 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 no. You wasn't doing that. But you gotta understand something. If you go to different, like, Chicago scene 88, all of these other different pages, right? Whatever, whatever, whatever. They drew that inspiration from you. You was the dude doing that. You know what I'm saying? Especially on Chicago. You weren't doing that from the city that you was in. You didn't do that on New York or in Jersey, and they just as violent as Chicago. You didn't do it about New Orleans. You ain't do it about Philly. You ain't do it about L.A. And they just as violent as Chicago. These is many cities
Jacksonville.
that's just as violent as
hey,
Chicago.
I,
It's
I,
just you got intrigued by it. You got. I know you probably got intrigued by what was going on. The drill scene. It was a new sound. It was hot at the time, and you seen it was. It was easy because you probably couldn't believe that. By going on some of these dudes' pages on Twitter and different things like that, that they was talking about some of the things that they was doing, sliding on each other, whatever, whatever. And I get it, but you gave it like that magnitude. Like, it's people hitting me in the back channel right now saying they wouldn't have never known about the violence in Chicago and all that other shit in Chicago if it wasn't for you. They say they found that out off your platform. So that's why I want you to understand, like, why certain people from Chicago or people from Chicago that's in this era that's up age and all that shit, that they feel a certain way towards you. Like, it's probably half and half. It's probably some people
All
that
right,
love you, and
Mikey.
then
Let
the
me
other
say
half that
something.
don't.
wait,
Hold on. Let me say something now, real quick. Hold on, Ak. Hold on. So I want to say, right. This is facts right now, right? Um. So I'm saying right now, like, so we really gonna, like, I keep on saying this. So we really gonna sit here and say, because they speak about it, they're artists. They speak about whatever. Oh, never mind. You was talking about the Chicago situation. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But hold
Go
on, hold
ahead,
on,
Act.
hold on. But he didn't speak about New York and Jacksonville and
Yo,
California and all these places because these places weren't
all
didn't
right.
have a new music
Eh,
scene at the time.
He
All right,
definitely
I
ain't
get it.
speaking
Why
I
why
get
about
it.
would
All
he?
right,
DMV right now.
hold on.
I got a response for you. I got a response for
He
you.
All right,
responding to me, Mike. He responding to me. Let him go ahead.
All right. So what I could definitely say about, first of all, I wasn't the first. I think people look at me because I became maybe the most transformative outlet around that time. But again, I was covering so, and I've told the story many times. So I didn't start my whole, I don't know if you want to call it. I won't call it journalism, but let's just call it media coverage. I didn't just start by saying, "Oh, let me just start on Chicago." You could look back from 2009, 2010. I'm doing album reviews. I'm talking about like, yo, hey, yo, yo, people in New York need to let go of that old ass sound and let the youth have their moment because that's the only way New York is gonna ever get back on top. And I was talking about how hip hop was, whatever. Now let's keep it going, right? The reason why, and I've always said this, the reason why I did the war in Chiraq, it was because when I started to cover Chief Keef, and this is when I like it's kind of being perceptive in a way. I noticed when I would do videos on Chief Keef, and it would be sometimes like, sometimes I don't even know what he was talking about, but I would just cover whatever the public shit is, right? And people in the comment section would be like, yo, well, if you gonna tell a story, tell the whole story. And I was like, what are they talking about? Because like, for example, if there's a big rapper from, I don't know, from Ohio, and he's like, he might be beefing with a bunch of niggas in Ohio, but we only know him. We like, if he's singing a song that might be dissing them that a lot of people don't know, we just keep the whole media and everything is pumping that up. So essentially, and I don't want to make this a long story, but I remember people just in my comments was like, yo, well, yo, you know who keeps talking about in the song, right? He's dissing these other guys who they're responding to, like, you gotta play it fair. And I've been honest by saying this. I looked at my platform at that point as being something that could be the newspaper, the digital YouTube newspaper. And then I was like, yo, listen, I'm just covering hip hop, right? I don't want to cover one particular city. By the way, you're right about I didn't cover, like, so I was born in Jamaica. I moved over here and I lived in New Jersey, right? I never wanted to just cover Jersey. I've always wanted to cover hip hop from a global standpoint. I'm from literally the countryside in Jamaica. So like, I always looked at when I'm listening to hip hop radio in the Northeast, they talk about just New York, New York, New York, New York. And I'm like, yo, this is just not the wave, especially in the last 10 years. The wave is going elsewhere, Atlanta, other places. So when I started to cover hip hop, I wanted to do it from, it don't matter where I'm at. I'm just gonna cover the hottest shit. So if YG's popping in LA, I'm gonna cover YG. I'm not gonna only like, oh shit, well, Uncle Murder's about to drop the wrap up for 2021. Y'all niggas ready? Nah, I was about to do that. Like, I'm sorry, that's just not my thing.
All
So,
right. So
so
hold
Hey,
on.
could I
wait,
say
hold on.
something?
Wait,
Hey, could I
Hold
say
on.
something,
Hold on.
Hey,
fast?
Hold
let
on.
Johnny
Hold on.
Smalls back up from
Yo,
Chicago.
no, wait, hold on. Yeah,
hold.
no, no, I just want to. So the Chicago thing, I was like, listen, I don't think people were interested in Chicago scene at the time. And what people said, yo, no, we do want to hear about it. So I said, I'm gonna make a separate page. I called it the War in Chiraq. I made the page, and then I was like, yo, I'll cover these smaller rappers, but I really don't think y'all care about them like that. And I ain't gonna lie, for everything, it did go crazy. Now, the point what I was trying
You
to
made
say
a
to y'all is
bag.
like, first of all, it, no, I didn't make it back. Absolutely
You
not.
made it
Ab-
terribly worse.
Yo, please let him talk,
Wait,
man.
no, no, no,
Damn.
no, I
Yo,
didn't make it
listen.
back, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, it definitely was like a source of just like, people were super interested in it. Like, it was almost like a series in a way. Um, what happened from that is that the whole time I'm doing it, I'm learning on the way, and I'm just getting public information out. So it wasn't like first of all, there's an outlet called College Kid. They hate my guts. They were doing exactly what I do, except they were too scared to just speak, or maybe they didn't have enough charisma. They didn't know how to use. I don't know what the fuck. They used to do it with audio. They would just use screenshots, play a little instrumental in the background, and they would do pretty much the same videos I was doing. They were covering the whole Chicago scene before me. They ended up hating me because just like how you guys are talking about the influence that ended up happening, I guess people gravitated to what I was doing, and they felt away, feeling like it was more of a, predatory type of thing. Which after like about 2013, I didn't want to do no more Chicago content. To keep it honest with y'all, like it was always predicated for me around how hot Dirk is, how hot Keith is, and when that wave started to end, I wasn't that like at first there was some fascination, like yo, no way these like because I live close to like New York, I'm in Jersey. I'm like, ain't no there's no open acts of violence this brazen when niggas could tweet out like and admit to shit and then literally nobody gets locked up. I couldn't even believe that shit was real. So there was some curiosity or like fascination in terms of wait, is this shit fucking real? After a while, like, and this is for people who thought like I wanted to end that shit mad long ago. But then people was like, and by the way, this is where I could also admit, its effect, right? Like the effect of Chicago, well, the war in Chiraq when I did it, right? I think, and we might disagree on this. I think I affected more kids in the suburbs who were probably trying to wrap their head around what was going on in quote unquote the inner cities more than I think I sounded like a high pitched nerd. If you're telling me the killers are loading up their Glocks saying, damn, this little nerd, this nerdy voice
They
nigga,
were.
he well,
Damn,
well,
Yo,
in
please.
that case, honestly, I don't listen. If they were willing to throw their lives away for a nigga making a YouTube video at that point, I'm sorry, the problem's bigger than me.
They were.
The
We
problem's
talking
bigger than me.
about young
Yo,
niggas that was on
let him
perks.
yeah,
talk,
let him
Yo,
finish. Let
yo,
him.
yo,
please.
real
Yo,
quick, real
So
quick.
at that point, it's
hold on.
survival of the
Final
fittest,
fact,
then,
final
man.
Yo,
fact.
Like
Tariq,
if you're
hold
telling
on.
me, so
Yo,
pretty much
hold
those are
on,
the same people who will watch Squid Games and go start killing everybody, hoping they're gonna get them. No,
Yep.
it should don't work like that. Or if
Yo,
it did, by the way, the part of Chicago I definitely regret and wish I did better is handling, especially like in an environment like that, which of course I don't come from. Sometimes I definitely neglected emotional and mental trauma that came from being trapped in that. I looked at those people as you're actively making this decision to commit violence, but truthfully, if you're in an environment where violence has basically like surrounded you and you're watching people drop left and right, you're watching your family members, your friends, sometimes your actions shouldn't just be demonized. There should be context put there. And I think that's what the war in Chirac lacked. I 100% agree with that. Because I looked at and I always hate when they try to bring it up and they're like, yo, well, I wasn't, in my opinion, I wasn't clowning no one who died. I really was trying to make fun of or make light of them. I'm like, yo, these niggas really just will throw their lives away in terms of killing people for nothing. Now, again, that's where I admit I feel like I went wrong because, in that environment where you have all this trauma going on, for me to have the influence I had and not to give enough context that I know now, which is damn near 10 years later, it feels like it was done sloppily and incorrect. And that's where, again, I keep saying accountability, but I'm like, I know they're going to probably have this up on YouTube somewhere.
nah,
Y'all only going to see, anytime when it comes to accountability, I'm the only one who ever say, I was wrong. I should have did this. I should do this better. Everybody else usually in these conversations, but I'm like, I know they're gonna probably have this up on YouTube somewhere.
nah.
Y'all only gonna like, I know they're gonna probably have this up on YouTube, but I'm like, I know they're gonna probably have this up on YouTube somewhere.
Nah,
You posted Nardo, bro, after you dropped the remix, right? So it's like he don't need no other type of controversy, clout, and nothing like that if it's just music. Right after that, but when you post him from an interview where you name like 10 rappers and you highlight Young Boy, why would you do some weird shit like that?
Who's speaking right now?
Dirty. I'm right next to you.
Okay, all right, Dirty. I love. I'm so glad that's the best question I've been asked thus far. The best question. So now I'm gonna throw it back to you after I give you the answer. First of all, Nar- I'm Nardo's. By the way, Nardo's label paid for that. So let's be clear. It's not academics. That's Nardo's label. Let me put this out there because Akademiks is the big dog.
Not on that. No, not on that
Wait,
one. Don't
hold
do
on,
that.
Dirty. Let
That's
him
cap.
talk.
No,
Dirty. Let him
All
hold
right,
on.
talk.
go ahead.
Dirty.
Go
Let him
ahead.
Listen,
Go
talk.
I
ahead.
got
Dirty.
receipts for receipts. Like I'm telling you what it is. Like if something go on my page, I know why it's there. Nardo's label has paid for multiple shit that's gone up on my page, and I've even made pushbacks on like, yo, y'all are promoting this guy through beef. I said it. Now here's the thing: you see, everybody will jump at act. The label that's trying to really, and by the way, he signed to the label. The label that's trying to profit off of his song, his music, his beefs. Because keep in mind, when he makes $1 million, they make 10. When he makes when he makes 5, they make 50. You get me? They're pushing that out. That's not me. Nigga, I don't go fuck with, nigga, I don't even know. Truth be told, I don't even know if he know Young Boy. I don't know nothing about Nardo. Was it Nardo? I don't know nothing about him. That's his label. The labels are doing that. Now, if it was some shit that I had something to do with, I would gladly be up here and tell y'all. Labels are spending 50, 100 grand on that. You see how that young lady earlier, and by the way, I think, I like the conversation I had with her. The, the, the,
Yo.
she was like, oh, I don't know who's beefing with who. You think $1 billion company, they know who beefing with who. They know how to position shit. They know, okay, bet. Niggas like to go to Akademiks page to see some beef shit. I'm like, no disrespect to that particular artist. I'm like, I only know that one song. I don't even really know about him too much.
All right.
The
So
labels are positioning that. Now here's the thing. I'm always down to have the conversation if we extend it and keep it open to everybody involved. Because what you're mentioning, that I would call that, like for me, I thought it was they've been promoting him and also song. I'm thinking a song promo. I didn't know this. So when you're saying this to me, I don't know. I'm telling you. So if you see it on my page, you're probably right. But that's label that he signed to. So now, do we want to shift this conversation where it's just not about academics? That why number one these, like, first of all, if you're a rapper and you're making these type of music and you feel like there's ramifications that could happen, that if niggas put y'all in certain type of inciting situations, again, we're talking about $1 billion companies. I'm guessing somebody on his management team must have co-signed it, unless you're saying
so
these artists are puppets and and they have no fucking jurisdiction, or they don't get the, like, anything I do, even if I got a podcast with Spotify, they can't do a motherfucking thing if they don't get academics to agree. So when promo come down and they said, hey, we're promoting this, most of the time they're not be like, oh, we know they're beefing. They're not giving me no fucking context. So whatever beef, or you think there was some inciting shit, that came from his label. His team must have known. So now let me ask you, would you get mad? And I'm making this up. This part I'm making up. But I'm making a hypothetical, because if you're gonna ask me the question, I want to ask you about him or any rapper like him. If a rapper made a song, or if a rapper has issues with people that get attention, and they then, number one, fund, keep in mind, not fund, for that information to get out. So essentially what you're saying that I do, they want out, number one, so that's consent. Number two, they're down to pay for the shit to
That
be out.
particular poll, that's cap. Well, all right. But finish
Wait,
your
no,
question, bro.
so
wait,
you
what's cap?
saying? Hold on, Act.
No,
Hold on,
what's,
Act.
no,
Then
hold
I'm
on.
not about
Act.
to go
Hold on.
back and forth about
Wait,
that
wait.
right
Hold
here.
on,
But go
Dirty.
finish
Hold
your
on,
question, bro.
Dirty,
It's all
Dirty,
No,
good.
Dirty,
hold
Dirty.
on, hold on.
Act.
I
Hold
hate
on,
when we
Act.
have these
Hold
type of
on.
things.
Act.
Again,
Hold on. Act, please. One
I
second.
got all the proof in the world for you. Tell me what's cap.
All right, that's what I'm saying, Dirty. So you dirty. So you saying that the label paying for academics to post Nardo is cap. You saying that they didn't pay for that? So
I didn't say that, bro. I'm not about to go back and forth about that.
I'm just saying so dirty.
This
So
is
I
this
need a
is case in
response.
point.
Hold on,
When we
Act.
get
Hold
to a
on,
certain
Act. I
type of
need a
conversation,
response. So
we
you
dialogue.
don't feel no type of way. So you don't feel no type of way that that the label that Nardo's on pay academics to post that. You don't feel no type of way about that.
That had to be proven to me, bro. He had to show me.
All right, hold on. Yeah. What's your Instagram?
I'm about to,
So
I'm about to.
Hey,
hold on, listen, listen.
Act
If
just
I
to
prove it
add
to you right
just
now,
to
if
add
hold on,
context, Act, he's like
if
a
if
solid nigga. Like he ain't no just random person talking. So yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
no,
shoot
no,
him that he
Dirty
needs
no,
that
Howard.
information.
I'm not treating him like that. Listen, but I'm all about logic and facts. So if I prove that to you, will you then
I just
directly
sent it to
question
your back channel
or say,
just now.
I don't
Hey,
how do I
You
do
did
Dirty.
that?
send it to me though.
Hold
There's
on,
a
hold
little arrow on the
on,
lower right
hold
hand
on.
side, bro. The shit with the numbers. Lower right hand side. That's the
So
back end.
Dirty. He's saying that he could send that to you in proof right now. How do you feel about the like? What if they really
Bruh,
did do
Yo,
I
that?
gotta, bruh,
all right,
I
hold on.
know what's going on, bruh. I'm
All right,
not
hold
about
on,
to
hold on, hold
disagree.
on.
I know
I'll
what's
bring
going
something
on.
else to light. And again, ask me's even here right now. I called 21. This is a fact. This is right when me and Meek had that conversation because 21 set it up. And I said, bro, I was about to run this by you because I don't want you to think I'm trying to put no shit going on. Because by the way, the whole 21 whack 6ix9ine shit, that shit, I feel like that shit is over. You know, that's I really feel like it, right? You know, obviously people gonna milk it for content, whatever. The label who 21 did, so 21 did, he's on the remix. Whatever, I don't even know what label he's on because that came through some agents. They hit me to be like, yo, could you post this? And by the way, it went up because 21 was like, yo, bro, as long as you don't say that's what I'm doing, because I wasn't thinking about no niggas, I don't care. They posted and it was like, yo, you go look at my page. I'll show you right now.
Yeah, I know
And
that
me,
post because
I'm
Man,
not gonna lie.
I'm
I
not even
commented
trying to
Yo,
go
I
under
back
couldn't
it.
and
even lie if
forth
I
about
tried.
that, bro. That's
Yo, but what I'm
beyond.
saying is
I'm not
that
even trying to go back and
a
forth
label.
about that.
You heard Dirty?
Dirty say he not finna go back and forth. So
Oh, all
let
right.
Dirty
Somebody
Well,
shit
he
speak.
fucked
just
up.
niggas should be mad at the labels. He just said it like so. Labels are paying
Nah,
niggas be having that
I don't want to
energy.
say that yet. I'm on both ends. What all Dirty saying is he don't want to talk until he sees something he can't say,
Yeah,
Right.
blame it on
yeah.
nobody.
No,
That's
I
So
see what
all
he's
I
yeah,
saying.
it's his
said,
statement.
bro. I don't even know
I
why
see what
this
he's
nigga keep
saying.
talking,
Yo,
bro. I'm
stop
not about to
kicking
go back and
Johnny
forth with that.
Smalls off the stage.
Yo, bro, if they speaking out of turn, bro, they gotta get removed.
All right, hold on. I'm a DM it right now. Like shit, Meezy, I asked Savage. You could ask Savage. Be like, yo, did I ask you about this shit? And that's for that. The other shit, they've been going hard with that. They've been going hard with that. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. That Who on Smoke song, I'm not that big of a fan of it. Okay, so when you see it all over my page, that is not me. I could be very honest about that.
Damn,
Niggas not
act that
gonna
ain't
So
get
that
mad.
sound too hard. Act, you tripping, boy.
Hey, you
Yeah,
sound like
yeah,
a
I
real
ain't even
hater,
send that
boy.
shit. Act, you
no,
got
I'm
that's a
not hating on the
You
contract.
song. I'm not
sound
hating on
like
the
a
song. What
real
I'm saying
hater,
is
my
that
nigga.
If
you
he
see,
don't like it, he don't like it. Why
no,
he gotta
I
be a
didn't say
hater
it's
because
not
he
hot.
don't
Like
like
That
the
nigga done had to
song?
say
Hey,
that.
time out. We gotta let academics and Dirty just hash this one out. Like real talk. Like, come on. Go ahead,
Nah,
act.
I ain't trying to, nigga be in here recording the other shit, bro. I
Yeah,
done
that's
learned my
real.
lesson
Hey,
from
hey,
this shit,
send that
bro.
to him though. I think it's very
Mm,
important. I'm gonna
I'm about
text
to
you on the
play no
side,
games.
but I think it's important that he should, if that's the case, he should personally see that. You know what
At
I'm
least.
saying? Like,
Yeah,
cause
perfect. And you said it was an interview where he said what now?
Bro, I'm back channeling you, bro. Just respond to my back channel,
this
bro.
nigga
How
academics
do I,
do not know how
Just
to use
hit him on
Clubhouse.
Instagram, bro. Hit him on the
This nigga
DMs
do
on
no, hold
not
on.
know how
Instagram,
to use
dirty.
Clubhouse.
Right
And
now,
act
Or
check
act,
your
I'm about to
DMs on
DM you
Instagram.
on Instagram, bro. You
Yeah,
know how
hit
to
him on
work
Instagram.
yeah.
Instagram, my nigga. Hold
Okay,
on.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm dead. Not he don't
We
know
don't
how to
want anything
clubhouse.
said that shouldn't be publicized.
Yo, and by the way, like you know, many times when it comes to music, I've seen I take the like because it became a thing now. Like yo, Ack is just inciting shit. Man, if you yo if any label got a street artist or a nigga who be dissing niggas or they know there's a beef element to promote a song, nigga, who you think they gonna come to first? But of course, when y'all see it,
I just DM'd you, bro.
all right, cool. Let me find this shit.
yeah, but it's crazy because the labels is actually
I
paying
got
for
a
the shit.
quick question though.
Like I've been saying, and
Them labels
it's
do be
just
doing
mad.
that. They be doing that shit, dirty. They be
Yeah,
doing that shit.
yep,
You be
shit
having to
Nah, I
crazy.
stop.
know that,
You be having to have to stop
but
them before they even do.
I'm talking about one particular thing though.
Now, yeah, we know what you talking
Nah, but we
about.
saying though, like sometimes you gotta like, cause even with Epic, like I be having to stop shit before they even think about even putting that shit in the system. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes they just be doing that shit.
That's accountability. Niggas ain't gonna have this energy. I'm just saying, not even you, Dirty. I'm just
Yo,
saying,
and by the
in
way,
general.
yo, I don't want y'all to think that I was like hating on the particular artist. Like I'm just like me. I don't know if people listen to music like me. Like I listen to probably like a set of 40 songs for like 3 months straight. Like I just listen to the same song over and over. Like, and so me, I'm always late with like loving a new song. So like sometimes I catch on to some shit mad late. So like I ain't gonna lie, in 2 months I could be just playing that song like it's going out of style. But like if y'all ever watch kind of like me, because I do like these streaming parties on like Twitch, man, new music a lot of times, and I just think based on the person, like music for me is like I like stuff that is just more repetitive that that I've listened to for a long time. If I listen to a song
I
right
just
now,
sent
that
it
song can
back.
just play the
I got
replay.
your message. I just sent it back.
Okay,
All right, yo, Chauncey,
okay,
you said you wanted
perfect.
to say something, right, Chauncey?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, perfect.
Yo, academics. Just I mean, just to let you know, like I'm an old motherfucker. I'm 51. So there's a culture in Chicago. If you don't know shit about Chicago, it's cool to come in at some point. But there's a culture of Chicago of gangs, right? My father was one of the guys that started the Blackstone Rangers, which is the Black P Stones, um, Jeff Ford, and and uh, and then you had Larry Hoover who started the Disciples. I'm not gonna get into the whole shit if you don't know. This is where real research come in, right? And
Hmm.
so the Blackstone Rangers was there like they were the versions of the Black Panthers in Chicago. You know, crack happened, all the shit happened, whatever happened in the city, and you know, every man for himself. But also in that situation, they locked up the two motherfuckers that kept the violence, the bullshit down in the city, which caused massive chaos. I left the city when I was 25. I was still backwards and forwards, and at the end of the day, my only issue, and what y'all saying about labels, 1,000% right. I worked at Interscope, right? I was part of the East Coast West Coast shit. I was part of when 50 in game shit. I've been part of a lot of shit, and where a nigga had to wear a vest, where I used to carry a gun, when I used to do a lot of shit that I needed to do. Uh, but but you know, the source did a terrible job, and a bunch of other magazine, Vibe, all that shit did a terrible job, really talking about what happened. And if a couple good articles would have been written at that time and put that on the cover, which never sells, but it would have helped the situation. A lot of things would have been changed. You happen to be a voice in hip hop. I don't feel either way about it because different than TMZ to me at the end of the day because it's all National Enquirer, all that old shit. It is what it is, and there's a place, and God bless you to make money and had opportunity, but my thing is if you're gonna talk about Chicago, go talk about if you're gonna go to these artists and tell their fucking story, tell the story of the artists and what they've been through. They drama, all the shit, the trauma that these kids have been through, the fucking terrible school system is there. Talk about everything in the city instead of just because the music is a really maturation of what these young men and women have been through in Chicago. And so, Chicago's always used talk shit about how bad it is. But I was just home last night, and this kid walked up to me with my business partner and was like, "Man, I'm the hottest nigga in Chicago, but it's like crabs in the barrel." And I'm like, "Bro, it's like that in every fucking city. It's like small towns to big cities, crabs in the barrel. But you got to keep fighting." So all I ask you to do, academic, when you do these stories and talk about the negative, I need you to go out here and pull your bully pulpit for the positive shit that niggas came out of Chicago and they actually got through and tell that story as well. Because that's what's missing. I know what sales and understand the business of fucking music because I've done it fucking 30 plus years. But you need to tell both sides of the coin because that's what need to be held. Because that other side of the coin might not be good for everybody else, but those kids that need to hear that are going to take that and run with it and use that as motivation to do better and get themselves out of the situation. So I ain't trying to tell you how to do it, but it'd be dope if you would do stories and do blogs or whatever, however you're going to do the shit and tell the good side of it. Because there's a lot of people in this room right now from Chicago that know what the fuck they're talking about, really, really live this shit day to day. Nigga, I've been shot, stabbed, I've been all that kind of shit. I thank God I got out of it, and I'm blessed to be still here. But there's a lot of niggas didn't make it, but those people trying to make it. So I just like both sides of the coin, and I would tell that to anybody. I told that to Vibe when all the shit was going on. I told that to the Source, Double XL, all that shit. I've always been an pro artist advocate, pro everything. Fuck a label, because I worked for fucking one of the greatest labels of all time. But I was always on the bad side because I didn't give a fuck, because I know how they take advantage. And I used to tell artists what the fuck labels were doing. So I want you to
I
tell. I
I
want.
Chauncey,
I'm done real quick. Real quick. I'm
let
finished in
Act
30
respond.
seconds. 30
Yo,
seconds. I
let
just
him
want you to
finish
tell the
though.
other
He
side of
said
the
some
story.
real shit.
For real.
He is, and I understand. Act don't got all
Academics ain't
day.
I
going
know, but
nowhere,
Act,
man. Let
you
that man
being
get his
Yo,
shit
biased
up.
though,
He
Act.
said some
I
real
yo,
mean,
shit.
listen. I
Act, you
need
being
to
biased.
listen. I hear what y'all saying, but I need to control this shit in a certain way,
It's not
respectfully.
uncontrollable though, facts. You being biased.
How am I being
You
biased? I ain't
are.
even.
Because that man
All
is.
right,
Nah, you're
yo,
too
Yeah,
biased to talk conversation. I
academics,
ain't gonna
He
hold
talking
respond
you.
to
about you
what
wanting
you
to hear some
saying,
Chicago
academics.
people. That's a voice from
That's a
Chicago that you
Chicago
just
person
cited.
talking, and you said you wanted to hear
That
from
is
them.
an OG from Chicago
That's
like
an
myself, and he
OG
just
too,
I
right?
broke
know
down
who
Exactly.
some
Chauncey
serious.
is. Academics is trying to respond. Y'all don't gotta. I'm just gonna start removing people. Academics, respond to Chauncey, please.
Yeah, no. I think he was making a very valid point. I think that's really, he's right on the money. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, but you got to understand that again, when people are analyzing that, maybe how my platform represented the stories of certain artists from, like, maybe again, there's a very finite period that most people keep talking about. They're like Warren Chiraq or blah blah, or yo, when you talk about and it's like, yo, you're talking about. Let me put it into context, right? So this is like 2012 to like the end of 2014, right? Like, we're not really, it's been almost like 8 years. I'm lucky enough that the platform's still growing. We're still able to expand and add different things, and of course I want to, like, if I'm gonna cover an artist, like, that's the dopest stuff. I want to tell their story in a real authentic way, not in some sensationalized way. Like, and that's why, like, that's why I even salute to Meezy, and like I salute to Savage. Like, if y'all watch, I did a mile in my shoes with Savage, and they brought me down there, and it was an opportunity, and it was really, and I've pitched that as a pilot, as I've tried to make these into franchises and brands. I've pitched that as a pilot, as, yo, if we're gonna talk about an artist, there should be these authentic ways where it doesn't come off like, I remember when Vice did Chicago a bit, people had, certain type of, like, the dude is with, like, even how Vice did certain cities. One scene they with the cops, the other scene they with the, like, it felt a little weird, but being able to tell those stories in a very authentic way. So of course that's the goal, and I think, as what I'm trying to develop here, is not only a media platform that is, like, some of y'all these days might just consume what I do on Instagram or, like, on some other platform, but being able to produce, those are content pieces that should be produced by, like, I had some criticisms of BT recently, because I feel like they're not in tune with what the new platforms are, and um the new ways how people are being affected. So yeah, what I want to do is to do more shit like that. We're getting to that position now. Like, before, if it was 2012, 2014, like, you got to realize, like, I might have been living with, like, my shorty at that point, just in, like, a 1 bedroom apartment, making that, and I actually had a full-time job making videos in the back of my car. You get me? I'm a millionaire now. Like, I have multiple warehouses that I do shit at, that now I'm like, okay, now the excuses of not being able to do that because of whatever your reach or your influence, or maybe, like, sometimes it was is money, like, even, like, one of the places which I just acquired is, like, I don't even want to, if I have a passion for some shit, I don't even, like, for example, and I want to mention no companies in particular. If they can't get a sponsor for some shit, they're not gonna make the content. They're gonna be like, well, we don't. If we can't get Sprite or somebody to fuck with it, you'll never that shit will never see the light of day. now I can start funding some of the stuff, and that's what I do think about where, you know, as e- as much as you might say some of the, you know, or parts or elements of, you know, my come up you might think is bad or horrible, but it gets me in this position where now I could do more and actually make these real genuine pieces of content that hopefully, you know, the culture could respect, and also that could be really true and authentic and not, you know, kind of um seem on a weird predatorial or whatever type of aspect. So for the person who said that, like, you're 100% right, honestly.
It's Chauncey, and it's just saying it like you are in position. That's my point. That you were in your car in 2014 doing videos. Now you're not. Like you own a studio, so you want to make some shit right. Then how to make shit right in Chicago, and how motherfuckers feel about you. You can do what you want to. You're a grown ass man. You can play it how you want to. But for my soul and how I would get down, I would try to do a piece on Chicago and tell the good side of how the motherfuckers came out of this shit. And you know, there's a lot of lives lost in hip hop. It ain't the nigga that's talking, this rapping that get killed. It's his man or his cousin or his sister or something like that that end up getting hurt. So like that's my point. Like bring the positivity side of it now because you're in a position to do that, and people will listen regardless of how many people listen. But for the soul, to do a positive piece on Chicago, not just a piece, several positive pieces, because a lot of dope ass people are in Chicago. That would change and give you a upper hand in a lot of other things going down the road. So that's just a suggestion, brother. Do what you want to do. God bless your soul. But Chi-Town, I'm tired of hearing this bullshit about Chicago is bad and all this shit, nigga. If you ain't never been to my city, you ain't never fucking went through our pain. You don't know it's the most motherfucking glorious city in the world. And all other bullshit is nothing. You know, I can go to Kansas City, Missouri, and it's war there too, but nobody gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Chicago is a fucking just like a pin cushion of bullshit, and I'm really over this shit. So if you do your part, brother, anything I can help to bring that positive story, I'm down for it. But I'm just telling you, you know, the beef niggas got with you in Chicago it is what it is. So God bless you.
Yo, Toy.
By the way, I just want to say
Yo,
that dude, yo, listen, like, you know, I don't want I don't want ever for people to take it like I'm coming on here to not have, you know, discourse where y'all could disagree with me. Like for example, that person,
I do not copy what academics does. The beef I promote.
like again, I don't want to ever be the person who's telling the story of Chicago, but like giving, just amplifying and giving the platforms that people can see different sides. You get me?
Right.
Yo, Toy.
yeah.
Go ahead, Toy.
Chauncey actually said majority of what I wanted to say.
That's
But like
what's
I
up.
said, I think that like I think it's like a load of bullshit to ask for people who go through environmental shit to take accountability for what they doing when I really don't think they was making music to begin with for it to go that global. I think it was just a way for them to vent, and the fact that it did go global, they gotta change that. So it's like I wouldn't expect for a nigga that's fighting for his life to make tracks about anything other than what he going through. So shit.
Yeah,
That's how I look at it.
hey, can I ask you a question? Because I kind of came in here late, and I this question might have been asked, but have you taken like any level of accountability to the amplification of like what has happened in Chicago? Like, I'm not blaming you, but you definitely have profit off of a lot of
Yeah,
people's
he
pain and
answered.
suffering and
He
amplifying.
went
So,
over that, Nori.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
said
answered
that
it.
shit
Yeah,
already.
that
okay,
was
then
like
I'll
one
mind
of
my
the
business.
first questions asked.
Okay,
Cause,
then I'll be mind my business. Keep it moving.
cause
You good,
like
bro?
Ho,
for academics, right? I do be feeling like he gotta constantly reiterate defending his
yo,
contribution to the Chicago drama.
yo,
Is somebody mic off?
somebody mute their mic, man. Yo, hold on. Cherie want to speak. Go ahead,
So,
Cherie.
Yo, so yo,
I
I
got a cue, Juju. That's what I'm saying. I got
oh,
mad
okay,
people
put
that
me
want
in
to
that
say
shit.
shit.
Facts, you ain't never say
yo
that.
Then I just
Hey,
ain't
Cherie,
black
go
then.
ahead,
I'm
Cherie.
ready
yo,
to get the
listen,
money
bro.
like
Like I'm gonna
academics. I
keep it
don't care
short,
what
bro.
y'all think.
Listen,
Y'all slow.
people love
Go ahead and
saying
keep
that
being slow.
academics
It's
started
cool.
did this, instigated this, that. But what I want to, like, let's be fair now. Why don't you guys talk about how much academics has given back to the Chicago community, hip hop block? Then what gives you the right to say academics is instigating shit? And how is let's put this in perspective, right?
He from
How is
Chicago?
academics
Yo,
instigating shit when
let
he's
him
No.
reporting on the
talk.
news?
Hell
I'm gonna
no.
remove
You're
you.
not even
Like
American.
what? Like use your
Let him
brain,
talk.
bro.
Yo,
You
Sheree,
you don't
hold
gotta
on,
be
hold
from
on,
America
hold
to
on,
have a
hold on,
brain, bro.
hold on, Sheree, hold on. Yo, let him talk. I'm just gonna remove you. Like, ain't nobody interrupt nobody. Now he's saying something that nobody agree with, which I don't agree with everything that he's saying either. Y'all interrupt him. Let him talk, please.
All right, another thing, we get mad at academics. We give academics the backlash. Why don't we go, give Adam 22 the backlash? Because he's doing the exact same thing. Why don't we give other blogs the backlash? Why don't we give the artists themselves that are glorifying this shit the backlash? But then you guys want to come at a fucking blog for
Can I
for for
can I
fucking
ask
instigating shit, but
Cherie a
you guys don't want to press
question?
the artists. That's crazy to me, bro.
All right, hold on. Now, Sheree, he done talking. Odds, you got something that you want to say, Odds?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. Nah, I'm lurking, bro. I respect.
Let
I got
DJ
something
All
to
right.
say.
Oreo talk, fat.
Wait,
Yeah,
hold.
I've been waiting.
I know Oreo wanted to speak. Oreo wanted to speak for a minute, and he been patiently waiting. I just wanted to let a few other people speak. Oreo, go ahead. Oreo, you can go ahead, my boy.
Being honest, I feel like a lot of this has been discussed already. As far as um, like I just feel like this is all going back again in a circle. Like I know that you did send money to Inglewood Barbie when we asked you to, and at one point she told me you ain't been texting her back. That's one. Number two, when we were in this conversation last time, I specifically said if you're a blogger and you're going to just report news, report it. But putting your own personal, um, saying how you feel about it personally just ain't really your place because you don't know no BDs, you don't know no GDs, you don't know how these people communicate, you don't know how they feel, and I'm not finna get on here and just bash you and say that you're wrong or some shit like that. I already said this personally. You can hit. We could talk after this because I don't really want to sitting here. I've been sitting here for damn near an hour. Like if you like you said, there's a conversation that to be had. I ain't gotta yell at you. I ain't gotta scream at you. I'm another Chicago socialite, whatever you want to call it. Like I know Tay, I know Chance, I know every other rapper that you talking about that you say have contacted you. Like, but at the end of the day, bro, it's just you don't understand that there's a lot of pain behind that shit. Like shit goes wrong every day. And here you come with your personal opinion again. And that personal opinion led to somebody making a comment, and then that comment led to somebody making another comment. Now niggas is into it. And you might think that you laughing, may not be the cause of it. I'm not saying that you the cause of people getting killed or you have been the gas on a couple flames when shit get bad. You have unknowingly put targets on people back. You have unknowingly
Preach.
made people a hot person, but you don't know that because you're not from here. You're not gonna hit up you're not gonna hit up Inglewood Barbie and be like, hey, how should I talk about this? You're not gonna hit up me, or you're not gonna like, and I'm not even saying that you're supposed to, I'm not saying that you, how do I want to say this? Um, I'm not saying that you're supposed to take down your channel or stop talking about Chicago because unfortunately, big dog, you are the first person that people go to when shit goes wrong. You one of the top five at least. One of you are academics. You are one of Say Cheese. You are one of Baller Alert. You are one of what's the no, I ain't even gonna say that. You are one of like the major three big media outlets that reports on this stuff. But you have to wear the mask that you wear and the crown on your head, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You have to wear it and understand that sometimes you don't know that something as small as a comment could be the seed to a tree to get somebody killed. I know that was like a crazy analogy, but it don't take nothing but one comment. It don't take nothing but one like. It don't take nothing but one joke because it's not funny to people. It's not funny to us. We don't like you said, that little white kid in Montana that know Moowop, that know this person, that know that person, that know Dirk. Like, bro, unfortunately, you even if you're not the first, you're the one that excelled the most. So who the hell else are you supposed to point the finger at? But That's my 2 cents on it. I'm not gonna sit up here for another 2 hours and go back and forth about, oh, you wrong, you wrong, you wrong. You said there's a conversation to be had. You ain't text Inglewood Barbie back. Hit my phone. I'm the only DJ Oreo that's verified. You're more than welcome. I don't have no problem talking to you about whatever it is that you need to talk about, because this is the second time that this shit has happened. And it's just like, bro, like, it's not a game. People are dying. People are going to jail. Like, downtown Gold Coast district is like, we were voted the number 2 most beautiful city in the world. Niggas got killed down there. So no, we're not an average city. We're not Florida. We're not Detroit. We're not New Orleans. We're not Baltimore. We're not the streets of Louisiana. We're not Cali. We're not the Bay. We're not New York. We're not Brooklyn. Like, I don't see nothing else about what be going on in New York. I don't see nothing about what be going on in the
Shit
boroughs. I
about
don't.
DC though. That he just
I don't
started
know.
doing that.
Like, I don't know, but that's my 2 cents on it. Like I said, like, that's really how I feel about it. You're more than welcome, we're more than welcome to have a conversation, but on here, nah, I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna listen to your response, and thank y'all for bringing me in here to have this talk. But yeah.
Is it quiet or is it just
It's
me?
I don't want to cut
quiet.
you off.
It means it's
I mean,
quiet
Hey,
as shit, bro.
Hold on.
I think the
Wait,
last
yeah, yeah,
conversation
wait. Can I
about.
respond?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll sit in here. I'll
Okay.
listen to
All
what you
right,
got
great.
to say.
Now, I didn't want to cut you off at all, because when I start, I would like for me to be able to speak uninterrupted as well.
I
So,
appreciate
yeah,
that.
Oreo, what I could definitely say, and I still I feel like you're still talking about literally a 2 to 3 year period that literally was 8 years ago, and uh, like, I can't believe that yesterday, me doing a video on something that's not even just Chicago related. I'm probably gonna do a video on the motherfucking nigga who's acting crazy in court, who allegedly killed Pops, not Pop Smoke, sorry, Nipsey Hussle. It's like, again, I cover rap and hip hop. Like, I haven't really taken a liking in, or like how you're describing it, in on a Chicago level for a long time. So, like, when I hear what you're saying, and then you jump in and you're saying, well, you're doing it again. How? You know, I brought up yesterday, which I was trying to encourage conversation, because I think yesterday it was a national moment, and there's a national moment of where, again, a rapper's murderers get arrested. Everybody's gonna talk about it. I then throw the question to the people who have always just blamed all the genocide going on the media. I ask you guys what you're thinking. It's not it's not inciting. It's none of that. It's actually saying, the whole conversation I was even trying to get to the first time I took accountability of certain things, but I always felt that there was a lack of accountability on the other side. Yesterday was it was the peak of the moment of to say, hey, listen, what about this situation where if you just have like two eyes and a brain, you could see how maybe rap songs going back and forth, people who don't necessarily need to be continuing, street violence in their music, who are signed to billion-dollar companies, as I keep trying to say, that's getting pumped and pushed by the machine. Then you have these things happening. You have the mothers of deceased sons and deceased rappers crying out to the whole hip hop community, hey, could y'all whatever. And I know y'all want to say, like, I think one of the main things, when I even hear Oreo speak on the whole thing, he's like, yo, well, like, this is like our shit, that, and unfortunately, or whatever you want to might think about it, that that's our reality. Ain't none of what it shouldn't be that much of a matter to y'all, but it is. It's in music. These are rappers. Like, listen, I'm not like like, well, I hope there isn't a murder that happened within the last week in Chicago, but there probably was. I'm not going to go figure out that story and create this whole thing. No, if it doesn't have nothing to do with music, it and that's where, when it came to the Warren Chiraq, which again I'm saying, this is, I haven't done the Warren Chiraq literally times with just covering the hot musicians. You get me? This is something that everybody's gonna talk about. It's a rapper who got killed, a rapper who some people thought was gonna blow, a rapper who also was very controversial based on even the music he put out himself. When that happens, where people who we kept that conversation public. Let's keep this one public. And I want to put it to you or anybody in Chicago. So what do you say to the mother who literally been begging superstar rappers, please stop dissing my son in music? Hey, the people who are victims of this, and again, y'all are right. I'm not intertwined in all that, but it has to do with musicians. There's millions of dollars being made of it. Listen, I think I even told y'all last time. I don't even think I made $150,000 of whatever. Again, and you could say who could profit off whatever the case is. Cool, whatever the case is, right? But at a point,
I'm in the
I try
chat
to take
beefing
some
with niggas who
accountability
watch Fresh
and
and Fit.
change
This
and
shit
veer
crazy.
off to
YouTube's treats is
doing other
wild.
things,
We
right?
got
Again,
clowns
me
walking
covering it
around with
is
Mac
not the
10s
same.
and shit
If
out
you
here,
thought
boy.
me doing a video
Somebody
yesterday
need
is
to
the
take
same
them
as the one
out.
Chiraq, I feel like there's probably some other agenda which I can't ever help you with, you know. But like you don't see me
I love you, Jay.
like
Go watch
go
Fresh
back
and
and y'all can
Fit,
play
though.
the
Get
video in
some
here. I'm
tips
not
on
in there to
getting
be
some
like, oh my
chicks and
god, this.
broads and shit
No,
from them two
I
weirdos.
literally
Tell them to go
reported the
follow my
facts. There is
channel.
some
You feel me?
commentary on it, and obviously, like for example, one of the main things I was like, why the fuck is the feds involved in what would likely be a local a local case, right? But what I also wanted to do is to put that mirror up of reflection, because for everybody who is talking about you are doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, those people are quiet or they want to talk offline about when the actual feds say, we got it from a song, we seen it on the social media, we just seen it from these guys. We're not going to academics to see. So again, I know sometimes that get lumped in with the entire situation of violence in Chicago. And again, for that, I've always apologized if I've went off the path of music, but I cover musicians, and that's my livelihood. That's my job. I cover musicians I cover musicians who just sing love songs to bitches. I cover musicians who just rap about clothes and fashion and flexing. Cover rappers who be beefing with each other. Again, I try to do it all when it comes to music. So when I cover the police, and again, when it comes to the police arresting individuals that was involved in the rapper's death, you can't. There's no way you could be like, yo, act, you doing the same thing with Chicago. How, brother?
Yo, so Act, let me ask you a question. This is, and I brought this up earlier before
Well,
we
I
here, and
think they got an
I'll
order going on with the
address this
queue.
here.
Yeah,
Give me two
hold,
seconds.
hold,
Two
hold
seconds.
on,
2 seconds.
hold
2 seconds.
on.
Act. It's not.
Oh shit, my
You
fault. I
know,
was
ain't
trying.
no 2 seconds. There's a queue. He got to just,
Yeah, I
ain't
was
no two
trying. I ain't
seconds, man.
wanna.
All right,
I was trying to
so
mute him though.
I
But
got
alright,
something to
yo,
say
hold
though.
on,
It's still on
D Nick.
topic.
Hold on, D Nick. You want to say something?
Yeah, what's up, Pac? So, my point really, anytime we come here and have this conversation as far as academics goes, he pretty much has said it. Like the Warren Chirac shit has been done for like a long ass time. He ain't really been irresponsible too much with the Chicago coverage for the last what would you say, Act, maybe 5 to 7 years. Um,
Yeah,
so like with that case, I don't see anywhere, like let's specifically talk about Duck's case, right? I don't see anywhere where Ack has contributed to any of them guys getting locked up. Like I follow him on social media. I'm on the Twitch streams and all of that shit, the podcast, all of that, whatever. And he ain't even never talked down on Duck and been in the middle of that situation or nothing. But my point that I tried to bring up yesterday, and I won't go into specifics again because this is a bigger room. I'm sure it's being recorded. Was there are literal, we could go lyrics aside, there are literal social media postings of the guys that did get arrested for the alleged crime where they're taunting and alluding to it. There's an interview of one of the guys that got pulled in, either, I don't remember if bruh got arrested or if it was just for questioning, but kind of like taunting about it. None of that stuff has anything to do with academics. So to that point, it's like I get what he's saying. Like we got to start holding rappers accountable, and this ain't even just Chicago. This could be all over the map. Anybody's talking like that, like the young guys in Florida and the name calling and all of that shit. Like,
Yep.
don't think we as the fans are the only people looking at social media, putting two and two together, and then digging deeper. They gonna do it more than us. Like we the fans, we see the shit, but the feds ain't stupid. They lurking on everybody's social media. This niggas in here that already done said in the middle of this shit, like just for this topic. Now I ain't talking to hear shit being recorded. All right, so you smarter than some of the other people that
may choose to do that shit. You
Um,
know what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing to do
can
with
can
academics.
I
I
say
think
I
he
know that
grew from
Hold on,
the
Measy.
my
Let him
bad.
finish.
Yeah, my bad, Measy, my fault. I'll finish. I'll land here. I think we should probably give Act the credit for growing from that Warren Chiraq era. Like I feel like he's taken accountability, which is what everybody wanted, and then everything like I think I asked yesterday. Let's say like he did, he stopped doing the Warren Chiraq shit, right? What changed? Nothing changed. It was the same shit. But my bad. I'll land there because I know Measy want to talk. My fault.
nah, I mean, everybody got good points, but I always play devil's advocate. Me and Savage, like academics, I feel like this. Like I don't feel like it's been no agenda with this whole Chicago thing, right? But one thing that Dree pointed out that I kind of agree with is this, like with something like I'll be mad, like right, knock on wood, I pray this never happen. But if something happens.